It is time for test flight session, review session number 2 with the Horizon Hobby e-flite Conscendo Evolution 1.5 m high performance sport glider. Alright, so the changes that I've made since the last, or the first and only test flight session and review of this glider so far, I have increased the control surface movement on all of the control surfaces, with the largest increase on the rudder, because the stall turns were a bit slow to respond. So I put a little bit more in the elevator to have just a little more in reserve on the elevator, and I increased the movement on the ailerons by, I believe, 3 millimeters. Okay, now I also was holding off trying a 4S LiPo in this until I got a metal alloy spinner for it, because the stock one is a plastic assembly and I didn't want to trust that to a 4S LiPo. So it arrived today. Now it doesn't look as beautiful as the stock spinner, because the stock spinner, you know, goes within a millimeter or two of the cowling here, because it bolts on to the bell housing of the motor. The stock one does. This one uses a clamp mount on the shaft itself, but it's made out of metal alloy, so I just removed the prop blades from the stock one and put them on this. This can also handle a larger width prop than the stock prop on this, and in a previous video, I think I mistakenly referred to the stock prop as a 9.5 by 4.5. That is incorrect. It is a 9.5 by 7.5 prop. So I had a little bit of play in between the prop and the prop mount. So I took two very thin, very lightweight nylon washers, and I put those nylon washers on either side of the prop, and that snugged it up really nice. There's not any play there at all now, but it still rotates freely. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want the prop to be banging back and forth every time that I increased or decreased throttle on it, especially when the brake engages. So I ran this up on a fully charged 3S at full throttle. I put a 4S on it and ran it up at full throttle. Very smooth. I didn't feel any vibration from it, which is the only thing that I was really worried about. And I put a load meter on it when I ran it up with a 4S LiPo, and it was only pulling 24.7 amps. So it has a 30 amp speed controller in it. So even with a 4S LiPo on this, it has quite a bit of headroom between the amount of current it's pulling at full throttle and a 4S and that 30 amp speed controller. So I'm real happy about that. I like having some overhead on my speed controller. So I think the only thing that I've flown this with so far is a 3S 2200 milliamp hour 25C LiPo. So I checked before I turned the camera on with one of my small 3S 1300 milliamp hour 30C LiPos, and I can put that in here and get my CG. So today I'm going to perform the first flight with a smaller, lighter weight 3S LiPo. That's going to be 66 grams lighter than what I had flown it with. So the vertical climb should be even better. And the 4S LiPos that I have are very small LiPos. They're 4S, 1050 milliamp hour, 95C LiPos. They're Tattus. They only weigh 122, 123 grams. The 3S 1300 milliamp hour LiPos I'm going to be using are only 106 grams. So I'm going to have a lightweight battery in here for the 3S flight today and the 4S flight. I'm hoping with the adjustments that I made today, I'm going to be golden on this setup. If not, I'm going to be extremely close. So as soon as I get my setup exactly where I want it, get the plane handling and maneuvering and performing aerobatics just the way I want it, then I'll publish my setup file and my OpenTX model file. So anyway, enough talk. Let's go out to the field, fly it with that small 3S, and then, oh yeah, put a 4S in it. I'll see you out the field. Okay, I have the e-flite Conscendo Evolution 1.5 m sport glider out here again. This is just my second test flight session with it. I'm going to put a 4S in it today. Right now I have a small 3S, 1300 milliamp hour 30C LiPo. I have it in AS3X mode. I've got my new spinner and prop assembly on there. A couple of things I forgot to mention. I did install a more robust landing skids on it, and I also installed 2mm carbon rod on both sides of the fuselage from the plastic cowling where the motor attaches all the way back behind where the back of the wing attaches to the fuselage, because where all that foam is missing, you know, where the wing bolts on and where the canopy is the weak spot on the fuselage, and it was recommended that you add some carbon reinforcement to that area. So I'm hoping that will take care of it. But anyway, let's walk out here to the road and launch it. .3S for practice, and then the 4S to see what it will do, and we already have company coming. It never fails, does it? Awesome. Okay. Let's see if we can get it in the air before they get here. Launching. What was that about? I think one of my props was hanging up. Awesome flying glider. Yeah, I love this thing. Beautiful. Alright, let's see what kind of roll rate we have now. Oh yeah, that's better. I increased the aileron movement. What was that? Alright, now I've got dogs over here. Great. Alright. I didn't hear what the transmitter said. Man, that is awesome. That is so cool. Ah, better stall turn. I might actually see if I can put a little more rudder in there. Try that again. Yeah, it rotates better than it did. I put about 4mm of additional movement into the rudder. I'm going to see if I can put some more movement into it without interfering with the elevator. Isn't that awesome?
This is really going to be cool on 4S. Check that out. That is so cool. Isn't that awesome? That's exceptional glide. Alright, let's check out our roll rate again. Yeah. Now let's try it to the right. That was going with the torque. Wow, I'm just getting a lot of traffic through here this morning. A little slower, I think, going against the torque. That is so cool. Look how graceful. Power's still off. Okay, so completed that. It had enough momentum after that loop to pull that split S maneuver without throttle. That is too awesome. Alright, let's come back through here and get some speed and see if we can, a little altitude, and see if we can pull a loop unpowered. What do you think? Throttle's off. Right there. Well, couldn't quite do it. Let's try that again. Throttle's off. Hey, just did it. Just barely made it. I'm sure on a 4S it'll have plenty of speed to pull a loop unpowered. I'm a kid in a candy store again, guys. Still gliding. Look at that. Oh, stay out of the sun. Out of the sun, Tony. Danger, danger. Is that awesome or is that awesome? Oh man, this is such a blast. These sport gliders are absolutely amazing. Okay. Let's come back around before the traffic comes through again and see if we can land it. I'm curious to see how much juice is left in that little 1300 milliamp hour 30C LiPo. I'm still gliding right now. Let's see if we've got enough to make it back. Yeah, we sure do. No, that wasn't as softly as I wanted to set it down, but got a little bit of a trough on this road and the ground's higher on either side, and so you lose a little bit of lift when you get close to the ground. But let me see if my skids held up. Hey, they sure did. Make sure everything's intact here. Yeah. That was weird that that blade didn't come out when I first throttled it up. Alright, so are we ready to put a 4S LiPo in it and see what an unpowered loop is like when we can get some real speed out of it? Alright, I'm going to put a 4S in it, and then we will put it back in the air. Be back in a minute. Okay guys, my first flight on 4S. Ooh. This is going to be fun. Okay, let's see. We don't have a lot of wind out here today. Oh, and we got the crew with the dogs coming again. Fantastic. Now, let's see if we can get it in the air before they get here. Here we go. Alright, we're in the air on 4S. I'm gonna have to loiter here for a minute. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Did you see that climb? Throttle is off. That was amazing vertical. Alright, now maybe we can continue. We've got a car and 3 dogs. Awesome. Alright. Holy cow. Holy cow. That is some vertical. Okay, let's put some power in here. Look at that climb. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely amazing. I'm still gliding here. This is a hot rod. We got another car coming. I don't know if it's the same one or not. How about that? Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so let's gain a little altitude and get some speed with this 4S LiPo and see if we can do an unmotored loop. What do you think? Can we do it? Here we go. Throttle's off. Oh yeah, no problem there. That was quite a bit smoother with that speed, wasn't it, than it was on the 3S LiPo? Oh man, that is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm still gliding. Absolutely amazing glider. Let's see what our roll rate is like with a little more speed. Oh yeah. That is quite a nice roll rate now, huh? I don't know if you guys can hear that on camera. That swoosh when it goes by. Awesome. That second loop was unpowered. I had the throttle off after the first loop. Isn't that amazing? Now you guys know why I just love these sport gliders now. Look at that climb. Can you believe that throttle's off? That is amazing. Wow, that is a high performance glider. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Split S without throttle, yeah. Oh man, I am telling you, that is absolutely awesome. Awesome. Look at that. Power's off. Oh man, that is so cool. Power's off. Holy cow, did you hear that? That was some speed. I'm afraid to get too close to myself with it. This is awesome. This glider. It just keeps going. You just point it vertical and it goes. Absolutely cool, guys. Boy, isn't that a nice axial roll for that? Awesome. The way it's rolling on this 4S, it certainly doesn't look like a 1.5 meter wingspan, does it? Wow, man, that is so darn cool. I told you, it's like flying a roller coaster. You give it power to get to the top of the hill, and then it's maneuver time. Sweet. I want to thank the person again who contributed financially to make this happen. I mean, this is an absolutely stunning high performance glider, and I haven't crashed it yet. So I am totally happy that so far, whoa, so far I have not messed this up. There's still time. I'm not through my battery pack yet. But, oh man, I want to thank him so much. This is, to be able to experience this glider, especially on 4S. Absolutely amazing. Now in the show notes, I will have links to the LiPos that I use. I will have links to the, awesome. I will have links to the metal alloy, spinner, and prop assembly. Now this has got a 9.5 by 7.5 prop in it, so now I'm just wondering, sounds like we got somebody else coming. Now I'm just wondering how it would perform with a 10 by 6 prop, rather than a 9.5 by 7.5 on 4S. Just curious, you know. My experience with props has been larger diameter props with less pitch typically produce more thrust while pulling fewer amps. So I would definitely like to try a 10 by 6 prop on this, on 4S, just to see if that works out with more thrust, better efficiency. Okay, so before we get any more traffic through here, I don't see anybody coming at the moment. Let's bring it around. I'm starting to get my haptics, so let's bring it around and land it. Alright, I'm gliding right now. Almost did it. Almost went too far. Okay, so I am definitely going to be putting some flaps on this to slow it down, because it definitely wants to glide forever. Now, definitely after flying this with the 4S LiPo is definitely the way to fly this sport glider. That is absolutely awesome. I didn't push it vertical until it ran out of steam, but I sure got a lot of altitude in a hurry on a vertical climb with this. So I don't know if it's unlimited vertical on a 4S with this little lightweight 4S I have in it. I've got a Tattu 4S 1050 milliamp hour 95C LiPo. I don't know if it is unlimited vertical, but it is pretty darn close. And so far my new skids are still there, and my wing protectors. So gosh darn, what an awesome flight, man. That is a beast on 4S. So I think I'm going to be coming out here and flying it with 4S from now on, unless I just want to cruise around with it, and I really can't see that happening. So I have not recommended very many planes after one flight session, but I did recommend this one after my first flight session on 3S LiPos only. And I like my setup on it. The way I've got it right now, I think I might add just a little more movement in the elevator to have a little bit more in reserve. And then I think I'm going to be completely happy with my setup. So maybe another couple of millimeters on the elevator, a couple more millimeters of movement on the rudder. The ailerons feel really good. Everything felt smooth. I didn't increase my expo from where it was before because it felt a little sluggish on the controls. Now it feels nice and smooth. I want to thank the person who contributed to this project again. You are very generous, and I am very humbled by your support. And now that I've flown this on 4S LiPo, I recommend this sport glider even more highly than I did after the first flight session with it. It's absolutely amazing, high performance sport glider. Second flight session with it. Now all I'm going to do is finish up my tuning, and then I will publish my setup and my OpenTX model file for this glider. Remember, in the show notes I've got links to the LiPos, I've got links to the metal alloy spinner and prop assembly that I have on there, and it works out great. It was very well balanced. It was very smooth at full throttle in the static position on 4S, so I'm very happy with that as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.